Peterson, The Origin of Mistaken Identification with Phenomena, 21st March 2024. Any experience, when observed in contemplation, reveals that, for instance, the sound and the awareness of the sound can't be separated. The same is true for any other perceptual experience occurring in the mind at the moment of occurrence, whether it be a sound, a color, a flavor, an odor, a sensation, a feeling, an emotion, or any kind of mental state defining the contents of the experience or the qualities of its texture. It will seem impossible to separate out the awareness from the sound which is being known, because they seem as though they are one in one non-dual unit. But looking more closely, even at the nature of the apparent non-dual experience, one can discover and differentiate a certain subtle anatomy where there is the awareness, consciousness of the sound simultaneously with the experience of the sound as a holistic experience, while yet there's something retained which seems to be independent of the experience, which is the knowing of it. Yet, in the lived experience, it seems inseparable from it. In this way, the knowing nature of awareness can be distilled from any experience, even though the experience itself, in its moment of occurrence, seems completely inseparable regarding the awareness and the texture of the occurrence, the content. What is aware that this experience is even occurring? Yet, with even further insight, one can see that the knowing quality remains, even though the content, the texture, as being a sound, a color, a flavor, an odor, or a sensation and feeling, or a thought, doesn't remain. That which remains is the most essential nature, the knowing quality which seems inseparable from any experience during the experience. Fundamentally, this integration seems truly non-dual, but looking more closely, a subtle dualism is revealed where something remains and something doesn't. And that which remains is the observing or the knowing of the experience, as the knowing it occurred. Whereas the sound or the color or whatever the perception has no knowledge that something occurred. So the sound and the knowing of it are not on the same equal footing, and the awareness-knowing aspect certainly has a privileged position. And it's this differentiation in all experiences, even in the experience of the absence of experience, that this privileged status of the knowing awareness will always endure without being influenced or improved or damaged by whatever reflections appear in the mirror of that awareness. So I would say it's a mistake to consider the phenomena of experience appearing along with the knowing to be identical with the knowing. That's what can also be mistakenly known in any experience as the sense of the inseparability of the knowing and that which is being known, knower and known being identical. But looking further into that, not stopping just at the non-dual condition of experience, one will see that the content, the particular sound, color, thought, or whatever the perception may be, doesn't endure. But the knowing that something occurred, and that knowing itself as a neutral consciousness, like a mirror, remains unprejudiced, unconditioned, and uninfluenced by whatever reflections appear in it. Yet, in the moment of that experience, they seem non-dual. And it's that non-dual sense, where the knowing and the experience seem to be non-dual, which they aren't, is what we call identification, and a personal identity as me, a fictional combination of awareness and phenomena as though being truly non-dual. Identification, where the consciousness and the phenomena, whether as body or mind or any kind of appearance, internal or perceptual, become mutually identified as such that it becomes a kind of sense of being an entity. I am that is me. I am the body. I am the mind. I am the self-image. I am the thoughts. I am the sounds. I am all phenomena. I am the universe. But without the clarity of seeing that it's only the knowing side, the observing side, which permanently remains, while the aspects of what's appearing and the misidentifications don't. Further, all that which appears within the mirror of awareness, whether in an integrative state or not, arises from dependent origination as a vast field of interdependent cause and effect relations, not originating from the knowing awareness itself. The mirror doesn't emanate its own reflections. All of the sounds are dependent on many other factors which produce the sound, whether from memory, as in dreams, or from sensory perceptions of the sound emanating from an external source, coming into the ears and so forth, and being produced as the sound. All experiences, as the content of the experienced, the textures of experience are dependently arisen the same, whether from internal memory, which itself was dependent at some point upon interactions with the external environment via the sensory organs, or via direct perceptual stimulation of the sensory organs, producing the various sounds, colors, flavors, odors, sensations, thoughts, mental states, and the emotional states that are occurring. So, what we are really doing in these deeper spiritual teachings is even going beyond the notion of non-dual and dual reality, where pure awareness is ever present in any given occurrence of an experience. Whereas, noticing more closely, all of those phenomena, internal and perceptual, are very short-term, like reflections, appearing in a mirror, and are constantly changing, whereas the quality of the consciousness itself doesn't change. In this way, we are able to distinguish between the changing appearances and the unchanging awareness which remains ever present.